YouTube, what's going on, man? It's your boy Caleb Prudent. I'm back with another video, man. Today, we got a real interesting topic, I think it's a cool topic, bro, because it's something I'm going to do, and not in the near future, but eventually. Today, we're going to be talking about, as y'all can see by the title, 10 things that I will teach my future son. And I think this is something that I would have wanted to be taught when I was younger, at a young age. It's from my father, but I didn't get taught that. I had to learn some things on my own, you know what I mean? But stay tuned for this video. We got some great points coming up, and let's get into the first one. The first thing that I teach my son, of course, I have to start with God. I think when I raise a child, when I raise my son or any other children I have, I teach them about God and how it's so important to have God in your life, and you can't do anything as well without God. You can't be anything as well without God. And ultimately, bro, like my child he has to be rooted in faith. He'll be born into a loving Christian home, but I think I just have to teach him about who God is, like what God can do. And I think, not to get too biblical on him, bro, I think like God is like amazing. Like it's some things in life that you can't do without God. And what I mean by this is certain things in life you can control. This is how I break it down to my future son. Like certain things in life you can control. You control how you react to certain things. You can control what you wear. You control how you eat, stuff like that. But there's some things like that everybody knows that are literally out of your control that you have no control over. And you know who has control over that? It's God. Like some things you can't see, that's literally the definition of faith. Believing in things that you can't see. And I teach my son, like that's why you have to believe in God, because no matter anything in this world, some things you're not gonna be able to control. And that's where God comes in. And I think that I'll tell him that ultimately everything works out together. Everything works out better when you believe in God. Like God is just, you can't do anything without him. You know what I mean? And the thing you can't do anything without him. You can do a lot of things with him. You can do things with God you probably wouldn't think you could do without him. But that'll be the first thing. I definitely got to teach my son about Christ, my heavenly Father, the man of the hour. You know what I mean? He'll have to just learn about God and learn to put all his faith in God and be a believer before any other things I'm about to talk about. All right, y'all. Next thing I will teach my son about is chivalry and how to treat a woman. I feel like that's a basic necessity that every young man needs to know. And I feel like a lot of young men and men in general in this generation don't know about chivalry and don't know how to treat a woman right. I teach my son, like, when you're taking a woman out to eat, don't let her walk on the side close to the street. Bring her on the inside to the street. Open the door for your woman, whether it's going into a building, going to an establishment, you know, picking up her bags, put her suitcase in the car, not letting her carry certain things, just things like that. Like chivalry goes a long way. And I really learned this from my girlfriend. Like chivalry is appreciated by the right woman. You know what I mean? I think as a man, just how to treat a woman, you know, I've learned just in my relationship in general, like you can't treat your woman how you treat your homeboys or your partners. You have to respond to things differently how you respond to with your homeboys compared to with your girl. Like you have to be a lot softer with girl, just like being able to understand women, because, you know, men are for Venus, women are for Mercury. You know what I mean? It's just like a whole lot of thinking. This is just different train of thought. You know what I mean? But I just teach my son like about chivalry, like you just have to be a gentleman, and that'll take you a long way. Just being respectful to a woman. Yes, ma'am. How are you doing? Just being a man. You know what I mean? Just being respectful to a woman and treating a woman right, treating a woman how she deserves to be treated, because that'll take you a long way. And some women won't appreciate that, but you find the right one, she'll cherish that, and that'll take you a long way. So that's the second thing that I would teach my son. Excuse me, y'all. The next thing I'll teach my son is about fear. And I teach him to be fearless. One of the things that I feel like has been hereditary in my family, like I think it starts with my grandmother, my nanny. Like she's a very like weary, anxious person. And that kind of trickled down to my mom. She's anxious about certain things. Then it trickled down to me. And I think that affected a lot of things, how I did certain things in my life early on, especially in athletics. But what I teach my son is to like, bro, what you're scared of is okay. It's okay to be scared, but it's not okay to be scared to the point where you don't do it to your best ability. You know what I mean? It's okay to be nervous, but fear is different. That's really why I got this tattoo right here. It's inverted on the camera, but I got this fearless tattoo because I learned this quote in college. This is a quote that I remember for the rest of my life, and I'm going to teach my son. Fear causes hesitation, and hesitation causes my worst fear to come true. Fear is a mind killer. It degenerates from within. I first must learn to face it, then control it. Like that's literally all fear is. You have to learn how to face your fears and then control it. And half the time when you're scared of something, when you're worrying about something, and then you end up doing it, it's not nearly as bad as you thought it would be. And your mind really plays tricks on you. So that's why I'll teach my son, like, you have nothing in this life to fear. And I'm going to tell him, like an old man, like, you a Nichols, bro. You don't got nothing to be scared of. It's in your blood. And And I want to break that generational curse of my children, of people in my bloodline being scared, being fearful, being anxious, and worrying about it. Because you only have one life to live, and living it in fear and worry about what's going to happen, that's no way to live. I want my kids to be fearless and not be scared to take risks, not be scared of what other people think about, what they do. They just be fearless and true to themselves. But that's what I would teach my son. That's the third point. The next thing I would teach my son is your word is your bond. It's so many things in his life that can be taken away from you, but I think off the top of my head, there's two things in this world that can't be taken away from you: your last name and your word. And your word is only as good as you say it. Like, when you tell somebody you're going to do something, be a man of your word and do that. I think I've run into people so many times. They tell me that they're going to do something. They tell me they're going to be there at a certain time and they're not there. And I feel like that's an unmanly characteristic to have. If you're a man and you say you're going to do something, you have to do that, because that builds trust in people. That builds people being able to rely on you. And as a man, it's going to be, when you as a man, it's going to be so many people that rely on you, and it's going to be so many people that you as a man can't rely on. And I truly do believe that. And if your word is nothing, then what do you stand for? You know what I mean? Like, your word has to mean something. If you say you're going to do something, you have to do it, just as a man in general. You can't just say I'm going to do it and not do it, and that's going to have people looking at you cross-eyed. That's not a manly characteristic. Like, if you can't keep your word, then what are you? You're not a man to me if you can't keep your word. If you tell me you're going to do something, you don't do it, that's not a man to me. A man gonna say he's gonna do something, keep his promise, and come through on his promises. So I tell my son, like, you're only as good as your word. You're only as good as what you tell people. If you're gonna say you're gonna do something, do it. Don't pump fake. Don't fake right and go left. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. And if you say you're not gonna do something, don't do it. Stand firm on your word and believe in what you say and say what you mean. But that's the fourth thing that I teach my child. All right, y'all. The next thing, I think it's the fifth one that I teach my son, is about money management. And I ain't gonna lie, I've seen a video of, I think it was Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq. He was teaching his son about tax. It might not have been him, but he talking about tax, and I think he was eating it. His son had his food, and Shaq literally took his food and took a bite out of his food, and like, this is how taxes work. And it might not have been Shaq, but I saw a video on that. Like, that's a great analogy of how taxes work. And I think I'm really just getting to a point and to an age where I really understand how taxes work. Like, certain states take a lot of your tax money, and you're going to have to get taxed regardless. So I teach my son about taxes. That's a part of money management. And I'd also teach my son how to if you can't buy something twice, I tell my son, don't buy it, because you don't need it. And then it's the difference between wants and needs. I tell my son, like, it's a want and a need. And you have to look at your financial situation and be like, this is a want or a need. But this is something that I need right now in the moment. This is something that I just really want. You know what I mean? And probably the last thing I teach my son about money management is literally the 50-30-20 rule. If y'all don't know what that is, that's a great rule, bro. The 50%, I don't know. I'm trying to put a chart up here. Hopefully I remember to put it in the video. But if y'all don't, if I'm putting in the video, the 50-30-20 rule is like a really good rule. I think you split 50 of what you get, you put it into your savings, and 30% goes into like your bills or something, and 20 is like goes into like extracurricular fun things. That's maybe not what each percentage allocates to going to that certain area, but the 50-30-20 rule is really important. Like, I've been doing that ever since I get my paychecks, and it's helped my money management in so many ways instead of just spending a check. And I'm like, dang, I don't ran through my whole check. But learning to save more than you spend, learning how to save. You know what I mean? I think that's what a lot of young men don't do. Is I have partners who tell me like, bro, I'm working check to check, and they make more than me. And it's like, you don't know how to manage your money. So I think as a man, learning how to manage your money is extremely important. I would teach my son about how to navigate women. This kind of ties to another point I talked about, but how to decide, to have enough discernment to know what certain women are all about, and to know in certain women, like, some women are really for you and some women are there to suck your energy away. Not, well, kind of, I guess literally and metaphorically, but, you know, it's family-friendly channel, guys. But anyway, some women, I would teach my son that some women are really for you, and to know what a good woman looks like. And hopefully he'll see that through his mother, who will for sure be my girlfriend right now. But, you know, I just don't mean to call anything early. But yeah, like, just know what the right woman looks like, what a godly woman looks like, what a strong woman looks like, what a woman who just wants you for what you can do for her, wants you for who you are, wants you for lust, is to be able to have enough discernment and to recognize, like, this isn't a woman who wants me for me and wants me for the right reason. I teach my son, like, you have to know, like, about when it comes to intercourse with women, like, you can't give yourself to every woman. That's not a manly trait. And I'll teach my son when he's around his friends, like, That's not something to be boasting about, to be bragging about. It's not cool to talk to your friends and be like, oh, I hate this girl, I hate this girl. Like, nigga, you don't get no cool points for that. Like, that's not cool. Like, that's not cool, because at the end of the day, your body is a temple, and you really compromise your temple, then you're affecting somebody else and giving your energy to them, and then you're taking their energy and putting it onto you. And it's like, that's not something that you want to get into the business of. Like, I think sex is such a hot topic, and it's like, you shouldn't just have sex with anybody. Like, sex is an intimate moment, in my opinion. Like, you can't be sticking your little wee-wee in everybody and thinking that's not gonna catch up to you, bro. That's not what we were put on this earth to do. Like, if anything, bro, I really tell my son, like, bro, try to stay celibate as long as you can. Try to stay celibate until you get married. But, you know, and I live in reality, bro. I know that's unrealistic in some aspects, but in some ways it's really real, because sex is overrated, bro. Sex comes with so many things, and I think it really complicates a lot of things. And in all honesty, and I'll tell my son, like, you know, tell him, like, it's pros and it's cons, and to know how to decipher between two and know which ones you want to take. And that just goes with women, sex, all of that. All right, the seventh thing that I teach my son is to have discipline instead of motivation. What I want from my future son, and really all my children, is to be disciplined. And whatever they want to do, whatever it's a business, it's school, it's athletics, anything, I want to teach my children that discipline will take you light years further than motivation ever will, because motivation will run out. Motivation is a temporary feeling. It's a snap in time, you know what I mean? But discipline is falling in love with doing the same thing over and over and over and over, knowing that you'll get to where you want to get by being disciplined. Motivation doesn't get you to a point. Discipline gets you to a point. And that's why I want to tell my son, like, you have to be disciplined. Everything's not going to come overnight. You have to work for what you want. Keep doing the little things over and over and over again, because it's going to seem boring, and it's going to be days where you don't want to do certain things, but that's where discipline comes in. Those are really the days that you need to do the things that you don't want to do, and that you know are going to help you get to that future version of yourself, to where you want to get. You know what I mean? But discipline, I just want to teach my son, like, discipline, doing the things over and over again, falling in love with the process, falling in love with the boring stuff, because the boring stuff, doing it over and over again, that's how you get to where you want to get, not motivation. And motivation, of course, it plays hand in hand, but you definitely need discipline more than motivation. You can't, if you have motivation and not discipline, it's not going to work. Your motivation is going to run out, but your discipline won't run out. And it just works hand in hand. But that's the seventh thing that I'll teach my son. All right, y'all. The eighth thing I'll teach my son is about emotions and how to navigate his emotions and what to do. And I'm not going to lie, this may be a hot take. And to me personally, it's really not a hot take. But I'm going to tell my son it's okay to cry. And as a man, I do believe it's okay to cry. Now, to be clear and honest, I don't believe as a man it's okay to cry in front of everybody. I think it's okay to cry in front of your loved ones and to cry in private. Like, I'm a man and I cry, bro. I can't front, I can't fake I got emotions. Some things affect me and it'll bring tears to my eyes. It's not a lot of things, but some things, like, it really makes me emotional and I'll cry about it. But I'll cry alone, or I'll either cry with my girlfriend, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, certain people that I can cry with. Like, my own line brother seen me cry because we were in a process, it was getting rough, and I just started crying. Like, I think being emotional as a man is a manly aspect. And it's a fine line between a manly aspect and an unmanly aspect when being emotional. There's certain things that you have to be emotional in, and there's certain things that you shouldn't be as emotional in. I feel like it's bad as a man to be emotionless. You know what I mean? And to be emotionally unavailable. As a man, you have to be able to articulate your feelings, be able to say how you feel and speak on how you feel, and articulate in the right way so where it doesn't come off as quote unquote sassy or feminine. Because I believe men have feelings too, and teach my son, like, it's okay you have feelings, but it's a way to go about it. It's a way to articulate your feelings, a way to say your feelings. And also, it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to cry. You know, I want to teach my son, like, bro, you're not losing no cool points, not holding that stuff in, because ultimately holding that stuff in is unhealthy, and it's all going to come bubbling, busting out at one point. So I'm going to teach my son, like, it's okay to show emotion. It's okay to cry. And that may be a hot take. A lot of people may not agree with that. I really don't care, but that's what I'm going to teach my son. Next I'm going to tell my son to do unto others as you want to do unto yourself. And I really live by this in my day-to-day life. Like, I'm not going to do nothing to nobody that I won't done to myself. Like, I really should get this tattooed on me. Like, I just feel like you can't do something to somebody that you won't want done to yourself. And I think that's so morally wrong. Like, I think the whole eye for an eye thing is, like, really wrong. Like, if you do me wrong, I'm not going to do you wrong. I'm just going to remove myself from the situation. Because if you do me wrong and I do you wrong, that doesn't make me, that makes me just as bad as you. But me removing myself from the situation and being a bigger person, that makes me a better person in that instance. And like, I just think about like, what would Jesus do? That's another thing I'm saying. Like, just think, what would Jesus do? Like, do unto others as you want done to yourself. Because Jesus was beat on, spit on, nailed to a cross. And he was the Son of God. And people did him wrong. And he never fought back. He never retaliated. He could have done terrible things to those people. Compared to all terrible things they were doing to him, he always turned the other cheek. So I'm going to tell my son, like, son, don't do nothing to nobody as you want done to yourself. And just be like, a lot of times, like, don't be an eye for an eye person. You don't have to always give back what somebody did to you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell my son, like, you can't be mean to people just because they mean to you, and you shouldn't be mean to people. Just be mean to people. Do unto others as you want done unto yourself, and always consider other people's feelings, because that's a godly trait. I think that might be that. I know it's in the Bible, but it's like that's one of the 10 Commandments. Am I tripping? I know that's one of the 10 Commandments. Do unto others as you want done unto yourself. So I teach my son really about that and the whole 10 Commandments. Like, this is what you want to do. This is how you can live a godly life. You know what I mean? Next thing I would teach my son is to never move off emotions and to always like listen before you respond. I think a lot of men, and that's really like a pet peeve of mine, like, you can't be emotional when you make decisions. You can't make decisions out of emotional, because like, at the end of the day, we're humans. We're all going to have our emotions, but you have to have enough discernment and enough self-wit in you to recognize, like, I'm emotional right now. I can't make a decision out of emotion. You know what I mean? And like, that's how a lot of people mess up in this world. That's how a lot of people get sent to jail and get put in prison, because they react out of emotion in certain situations where they could have just taken a step back from the situation, reassessed it, reevaluated it, and been like, it's not that serious. I don't. It's not even worth my time. But they'll make a split second decision and do something that could get them in jail for the rest of their life. And the other point, like, just listen more than you talk, because a lot of people, if you realize, like, a lot of people talk a lot, they'll reveal a lot about themselves. Some people talk a lot are really smart, but a lot of times they're really like more dumb than they're portraying off to be. You know what I mean? And when you listen more than you talk, you'll learn more. Like, always be like slow to speak and quick to listen. You know what I mean? Like, listening, if you listen and just don't talk a lot, you'll learn a lot. And a lot of people who are the smartest people in the world, and a lot of people who are smart around me, they're really quiet. Like, they don't talk a lot. They listen a lot. You know what I mean? And I think I'm a pretty smart guy, and I'm not no just out extroverted person. I'm really kind of introverted. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm very knowledgeable for my age, but I know I don't know everything. But just always listen more before you talk. You know what I mean? YouTube, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. I'm trying to give y'all different content, trying to do the, throwing spaghetti at the wall. If y'all want more videos like this, and y'all really enjoyed this video, man, smash the like button. Just hit it for me, man. I really appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to keep giving y'all daily videos. I told you I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to keep uploading. I'm going to be the best me I can be just for y'all and just to get to where I want to get in life. You know what I mean? But stay prudent. Like, comment, subscribe, like I said, and I'm gone.